What's going on, guys? Back again with another one, talking about health, wealth, happiness, getting money, getting success, getting rich, all the great things in life, getting free. That's what I want to talk about today, getting free. I want to talk about the last exit, right? This is your mission, whether you choose to accept it or not. 007, your mission. It's 2026, and your last mission for the next 5 years is to get out of the West. That's it. That is the goal. That is the mission. Do you accept? That's what I want to talk about today. Escaping the exit. So that's it. Everybody wants a good life, right? Everybody wants to make it. Everybody wants to live a good life, man, and to find peace and freedom, and to create a good life for them and their family. And that last exit today is leaving America. It's leaving the West. It's leaving Europe. It's getting out of England. It's getting out of Canada. And that is it, right? I watch a lot of anime. I don't know if you guys watch a lot of anime. And one of my favorite characters that doesn't get enough shine in Naruto is Shikamaru. So Shikamaru, his power, I guess, or his superpower within the anime is he can see 200-300 moves ahead. And that is one of my superpowers. That's one of my greatest strengths, is my intelligence, my ability to see the future, my ability to have foresight, right? I can see into the future. I can see 20, 30, 50 moves ahead. And if you haven't made it yet in the West, right? If you haven't made it in America, if you haven't made it in England, if you haven't made it in Europe, if you haven't made it in Australia, if you don't have a great job already, if you're not 10 years deep into that job knowing you ain't going nowhere and you're making it already, if you haven't bought a house yet, if you haven't paid it off yet, if you don't have a car and that's paid off, if you don't have a retirement account with $200,000-$300,000 in it, if you haven't gotten to one full Bitcoin yet and put that away in cold storage and not on an exchange, if you haven't gotten these things already, the only exit left is to leave. You need to figure out how to make $1,000 to $2,000 or the equivalent in euros or Australian dollars and get out. That's it. That is the only exit left. I've looked at all of them. I've tried to look at all of the moves on the chessboard. There's none left. You have to get out if you want a good life. The West is going to continuously erode. You have to get out. And I follow a lot of people, right? Because I did those things. I have those things. I got the retirement account. I had the great job. I got the crypto. I did the things. I got the house. I got the car. I did the thing. I did the American dream. And even I am planning my exit. I see all of these guys that are killing it in life. I follow this guy on YouTube called Coach Greg Adams. He's killing it on the social media game. He lives in Vegas. He's got the big house, the multi-car garage. He got the Porsche. He got the G-Wagon. He's got the motorcycle. He's got the guns. He's got the toys. And even he is planning his exit. Another guy who's really huge on YouTube is MTR, Mediocre Tutorial Reviews. He's doing this thing. He's a multimillionaire living in Atlanta. And even he is doing the exit route. He's getting out. So why are these people getting out even though they've already made it? Why am I looking to exit even though I've already made it? Well, you must exit. Well, first of all, how should I take this? No, I'll keep going down this route. The people who have already made it, who are going to exit, they see the downfall of America. They see the downfall of a tier 1 society, and they know they need to drop down into a tier 2 society. As America becomes worse, there's going to be a dark cloud over the West. America, Canada, England, Europe, as a whole, the West in general. There's going to be a dark cloud. People are gonna lose jobs. They're gonna lose hope. They're not gonna want to do anything anymore. They're not gonna even want to try anymore. Depression is gonna go up. Self-deletions are gonna go up. Businesses are gonna start closing. I spend a lot of time out west, right? And just going into a Walmart and having to call an assistant to come unlock the cabinet so I can get body wash, that's gonna happen a lot more. And it's like, what the heck is going on? Well, Too many people are stealing now. You know, I remember when I was growing up, going to Walmart, I used to be happy calling the assistant to come unlock the cabinet because I knew I was getting a video game, because that's all that used to get locked up was video games and electronics. Now it's body wash and razor blades and shaving cream. And that's only going to perpetuate. It's only going to get worse in America, in the West in general. And so the only option now, again, if you haven't made it, if you don't even have those things, if you're like, man, I want to start out, what am I supposed to do in this life? I want to create a great life for me. You got to leave. And, you know, again, I follow a lot of guys who have already left, right? They're already living over there. They're already doing the thing. All you have to do is figure out how to make $1,000 to $2,000 a month online. That's it. $1,000 to $2,000 a month online, and you're out. That's it. You don't have to listen to all of these crazy grifters and all of these people. And I respect those guys, right? Guys like Grant Cardone, guys like Ty Lopez, you know, guys like Alex Hermosi. These people who are talking about making $100,000, $200,000 a month. You don't got to do that. Just $1,000, $1,500, and you're out. $1,500 a month online. That's it. That's all you got to clear, and you're out. And again, this is the last exit. This is it. I've looked at all the chess pieces on the board. This is it. This is the last move you got left. The only move left is to leave the United States. That's it. If you want a good life for yourself, you're not getting a good job anymore. You already don't have a retirement account. You're not getting a family with multiple children and a house and a 2-car garage and a white picket fence with a good retirement. That's over. You got one move left. If you're trying to come up, if you're trying to figure this thing out, if you're a young guy in your 20s and you're like, well, you know, what am I supposed to do with my life? I'm trying to figure something out. The only move left is to figure out how you can make a $1,000 or $2,000 a month online and get out. That's it. That's the only move you got left in the United States. And, you know, be happy, right? Be happy that you were born. You hit the jackpot. You rolled the dice and you were born into the West, which allows your money to, you know, you have a lot more purchasing power that allows you to drop down into these tier 2 societies. And it's a lot better, right? That's the reason why I'm leaving. Like, everybody has their own reasons. And me, I understand the game. And again, I've already won the game, right? I got the house, I got the cars, I got the retirement accounts, all that stuff. I already won. And why am I leaving? Because I understand what's going to happen. And you don't want to be in a tier 1 society like the West as it starts to decline. You want to drop down into a tier 2 society. You want to drop down into the Philippines. You want to drop down into Thailand. You want to drop down into Peru. You want to drop down into these tier 2 societies on the way up. So now you go over there with your purchasing power and you're spending money in these economies, which grows the economies, which means the people around you get to make more money, right? Now there's more jobs, more opportunities for the people there. They're happy. They're now able to provide more for their families because you're now injecting more fiat, more currency into this economy, right? You're growing it where those jobs weren't there before because the people weren't there, right? If we're all, you know, if you can get out and you're moving into these condos overseas, now there's more people need to work there. More people need to be Grab drivers, right? In Thailand, they have Grab where you can, you know, hop on the back of a motorcycle and it can take you somewhere, or they can bring you food. Those jobs wouldn't be there if people didn't move there, right? So as you drop down into a tier 2 society, the people get more opportunities, their lives go up, everybody's happier. You're able to live your life. They're able to live their life and provide for their families. It's a win-win situation. And that's another thing that I want to touch on too. You know, I was watching some video and this guy was saying that it's the same thing. People, Americans and British and Europeans that go overseas, it's the same thing as an illegal immigrant that comes into the United States. Now, hey man, if you need to do that, if coming to the United States, if that's what you need to do to create a better life for for yourself and for your family, hey man, by all means do it. But it's not the same. It is the exact opposite, actually. You know, an illegal immigrant that comes into the United States from either down south or, you know, Somalia or wherever they're coming from. Again, do your thing, man. If you can get in, hey, that's on you. But when they come here to America, to these tier 1 societies, they extract, right? They'll work under the table, they'll get paid, and they'll send all the money back home. You extract. They come in, they take the resources, they take the dollars, they take the pounds. Some of them go to France or whatever. They're taking the euros, they extract, and then they send it back home. Whereas somebody from Europe, somebody from America, once you go to Thailand, once you go to Peru, once you go to these places, Argentina, Brazil, you're injecting, fiat into these countries, which builds the countries up. You're not going there to extract. So it's completely different. But hey, do what you need to do, right? Do whatever's best for you. But if you do live in America, if you live in Canada, if you live in a tier 1 country, you need to be, in the next 5 years, you need to be planning your exit right now. And, I remember around like 2015 to 2020, during that area, right? Those 5 years, a lot of people were saying, oh, well, everybody can't be an entrepreneur, right? Somebody's just got to work a job. Everybody can't be an entrepreneur. And at the time, I was like, yeah, I get that, right? I don't anymore. I reject that notion. Everybody can be an entrepreneur. Everybody can figure out how they can serve other human beings and make a couple grand online. That's all it is. Everybody can be an entrepreneur. And if you're not an entrepreneur, it just means you're lazy. You're just like, whatever. I'll just go to this job and take orders and, get a paycheck. But everybody can be an entrepreneur. And in today's society, with all of these jobs going away, you don't even have a choice anymore. You're either going to be an entrepreneur or possibly work for one. If you can't be one yourself, which I think everybody can. Everybody can be an entrepreneur. Everybody can think about something that they can provide to other human beings and how they can do that online. But that's it, man. I looked at all the moves on the chessboard. And if you haven't made it yet, if you haven't figured it out yet, the last exit is leaving. The last exit is figuring out how you can make a couple grand online. Again, you don't have to make $50,000 a month online, $100,000. Alex Hormozy, how to make your first $100,000 a month. You don't got to do that. $1,000 to $2,000, $1,500. I follow all of these guys, man. Peace, Love, Shoe. He's out there in Vietnam. I follow all these guys in Thailand. Avante Vlogs. Skylar Duran down in Brazil. Don Banks down in Brazil. All of these guys that just flew the coop. And they're just living their best lives. And even, I follow a lot of other channels too that do, it's not just guys. It's women and families moving to Thailand and Chiang Mai and and getting houses, renting houses for $1,000 a month. And they got good schools over there, and the environment is great, and the people are friendly. And there's one last move to make, and that's the exit. Figure out how you can make a couple grand online and exit. Everything else, it's over. It's over. It's over. It sucks, man. And again, even me, I've already made it. I'm following people who have already made it. We already got out. We did the thing. We got the American dream. We got the house with the white picket fence and the cars we did all of that. And it's time to exit. There's one move left. Time to exit. So again, I'm not dooming and glooming, right? I always come up with solutions. That's my thing, is solutions, right? I want to give people solutions, thoughts, something to think about, something to take with you so you can, think about for the rest of your day. And it's the exit. You got about 5 years to plan the exit. That's it. That's all you got left. Because it's the American dream, what you thought, is over. The new American dream is to make a couple grand online and dip. Live your best life in a nice place with nice people. And just rock out like that. That's it. That's it. That's what's left. So yeah, man, I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. If you're still on in here, man, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe. I'll catch you beautiful people on the next one. Peace.